Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic Hypersonic.
I'm Barry P. Cook, and I'm here to do a breakdown and review for you of the season finale of X-Men 97. It was called Tolerance is Extinction Part 3. And as it starts, in a seeming flashback to World War II, Charles and Eric are getting a beer, and Charles discloses his mutant ability to Eric telepathically, and Eric does likewise verbally. But it turns out to be a scenario playing out in Eric's mind as Charles invades it before once again they argue about whose path is correct, at which point Charles forces Magneto to send out another pulse, restoring the world's power, which is witnessed by Daredevil, Silver Samurai, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and Captain America. Meanwhile, Bastion is holding Morph, Storm, Beast, Cable, and Forge captive as he goes on about his crazy plans, much to the horror of his 5 prisoners. Before he can kill Cable as an example, Jean rises as the Phoenix and nullifies Bastion's ability, taking out the Prime Sentinels, before she starts stripping Sinister of all the mutant DNA he's harvested over the years to keep himself young. However, Bastion is still a threat and goes through a crazy evolution, giving himself wings, before he flies off while threatening to continue on with his plan. On Asteroid M, Eric and the Professor, meanwhile, are knocked out cold, and inside his mind, Eric seems to have forgotten who he is, and the Professor has to heal his mind before both of their minds are lost. Wolverine is alive, but in very bad shape, as Scott urges him to heal himself. Bastion attacks Asteroid M, and Rogue engages him in fisticuffs with help from Sunspot. The US president holds a meeting to try to decide what to do about the threat of Asteroid M, and King T'Chaka and Captain America urge patience and caution. Bastion then ends up taking on Jubilee, Nightcrawler, and Cyclops, and it seems like it's not going well, but the rest of the team shows up inside a commandeered Sentinel, as do Rogue and Sunspot, from where he left them knocked out before attacking the rest of the team. As Beast tries to crush Bastion with the Sentinel and Scott and Jean try to talk him down, the US launches the Magneto protocols and a bunch of missiles strike Asteroid M. As it falls to Earth, witnessed by Peter Parker, Mary Jane, and Flash Thompson, threatening to decimate the Earth, the team puts a plan in motion to try to keep that from happening, a plan that they don't expect to survive the execution of, prompting Scott and Jean to telepathically say goodbye to Cable. Just as it seems the asteroid is going to crash into the Earth because the team's plan didn't work, Charles finally reaches Magneto in his mind, and he springs back to consciousness and uses his abilities to raise the asteroid back up into the atmosphere and blow it apart. Our heroes are then presumed dead, but Bishop shows up at the X-Mansion later to tell Forge that it would seem that the team was sucked through time. And then we do indeed see that Rogue, Magneto, Charles, Beast, Morph, and Nightcrawler have ended up in Egypt in 3000 BC with En-Saba-Nur, meaning the 7 lights, a pre-apocalypse apocalypse. But no Logan, while Scott has ended up in the year 3960 AD with Jean, on a part of the planet seemingly controlled by a woman called Mother Ascani, an alternate version of Rachel Summers, the future daughter of Scott and Jean, and where a young Nathan also is. In a mid-credit scene, we find Apocalypse digging through the rubble on present-day Genosha, where he finds one of Gambit's cards, which it seems could be foreshadowing how, as he did in the comics, Gambit becomes the Horseman Death, one of Apocalypse's 4 horsemen, in Season 2, which may have been foreshadowed by how Gambit appeared, all messed up and whatnot, on the astral plane when Charles was playing teacher there with all the people from his would-be space empire. And that's where the episode ended. So I was not blown away by this episode. You know, once again, I found the animation to be excellent. The action sequences were excellent. The voice acting was really well done. It was excellent to see the Phoenix and, you know, all the cameos, including some that I haven't mentioned yet, like Cloak and Dagger and Psylocke, as well as Mr. Fantastic, although it was really just Morph. And, you know, I liked how Magneto decided to help out and, you know, save humanity rather than just allow the Earth to be decimated. Although I guess he figured mutants would be decimated as well. So he did the right thing, but maybe out of self-interest. Although at the end, when they show up in Egypt, he seems to be behaving like a good guy. So who knows? He goes back and forth. You know, the scene with Scott and Jean saying goodbye to Cable was supposed to be moving, and I suppose it was very poignant, but it didn't really do anything for me because I'm not invested in the Cable character. I don't know. It just didn't really do anything for me. I was more moved by the scene between Charles and, or the scenes, I should say, between Charles and Eric, where you know, can see that these guys have a love for each other as brothers and as friends, and that they go back, decades. And you can see that Magneto isn't all evil, which, we've known for a while, of course, which is great because it gives his character nuance and, complexity. So I liked all of that, though I thought it might have been a little heavy-handed. And I didn't like that they didn't really do anything with Logan. I mean, we know he's still alive, we know he's healing, but in the end, we don't even know where he is. He's not with either group that we've seen. So I thought that was kind of a letdown. But on the other hand, it was great to see Sinister get his comeuppance. And, I'm intrigued to see where they're going to go in season 2 with Apocalypse and with Gambit being sort of an undead horseman potentially. And, this alternate version of Rachel Summers, who is also a powerful, psychic, telekinetic mutant, at least in the comics. So I'm looking forward to that. And I think the season overall was very good. There was only that one episode where I had a problem where I thought the voice acting was way over the top and the writing was a little overwrought. And it did seem as though they rushed some things over the course of the season. And I'm not happy that Gambit was taken out, but we're going to see where that goes. So, all in all, I thought it was a good season, and I found this episode to be okay, maybe like a 7 out of 10. And I'm looking forward to season 2, which, I guess can't get here fast enough, really. But that's really it. So I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back with another video soon. Until I return, I wish you peace and long life.